The member from Huron-Bruce.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I find it an absolute honour to stand in front of everyone this afternoon on behalf of Patrick Brown, the leader of the PC party, and Laurie Scott, the PC critic for the status of women, and present our response today. And I would also like to note that I've been helped today by an OLIP intern, Danielle Paparazis, who is here this afternoon and has joined my team for the fall session, and I thank her for her efforts in this manner. I'd also like to start out by recognizing that it's an honour to stand here on behalf of Laurie Scott. She herself is making history as she works tirelessly to stop the human trafficking that we're all experiencing in every corner of this province. So while she's out there working on that, it's my pleasure to be here in the House responding to a statement that absolutely emphasizes the importance of recognizing the month of October, which is Women's History Month. And I want to share with everyone viewing today that you need to come to Queen's Park and join us on the first floor in the East Wing and walk through a remarkable assembly, which was created by our Speaker, Dave Levac, member for Brent. And I really appreciate the work that you've done as well. It's important in order to pursue a path that invites women to become more involved, that we celebrate our history. So thank you for the remarkable Assembly of Women. And in being in that first, it really is appreciated. And in that first floor, amongst the remarkable Assembly of Women that we've had the honour of learning from and working with in Ontario, I can't help but feel inspired, Speaker, because women who have walked the halls before me have blazed a path for women's involvement and voices in Ontario politics. I admire the integrity and the determination of these leaders and wish to continue their legacy through my own public service, and I'm sure everyone in the House today agrees with that. It is unequivocal that women are an integral part and play such an important role to the health, spirit, and success of families, communities, our province, and our country. We have come a long way in recognizing this, thanks to the efforts of strong women advocating this message. And this year, we are celebrating 100 years of women getting the right to vote in Ontario. Women like Nellie McClung, Emily Murphy, and Louise McKinney worked tirelessly and diligently to ensure that female voices could be heard. But I would be remiss if I didn't mention that this 100-year anniversary of the right to vote is only for a certain segment of women. It took decades of more advocacy and hard work for Indigenous women to finally have their voices heard in our political system in 1954. But today, we all stand together to celebrate. But while we celebrate, we know there is so much more work to be done. Women like Agnes MacPhail, the first woman elected to the Ontario Legislature, and Ray Lucock campaigned hard not only for their seats, but for the success of future generations of women in politics. As a point of interest, Agnes MacPhail was a teacher in Kinloss, which is in my riding of Huron-Bruce, and it was here that she started on her path to inspire young women around her to value intelligence, hard work, and to feel empowered to make a difference. These values shape all of the work that I do, and I'm sure all of our colleagues here in this House. I currently serve personally as the Vice Chair of the Commonwealth Women Parliamentarians, known as CWP, for the Canadian Region Steering Committee. The CWP was founded by women delegates at the 1989 plenary conference, and they united over the shared opinion that there must be increased female representation in Parliament. One of my personal focuses in this role is to encourage women to make a difference in rural Ontario and throughout the province, from both inside and outside the political sphere. This March in Ottawa, I was fortunate to join 338 young women from across Canada, one from each riding across Canada, as I mentioned. They took time to come to Parliament Hill for the Daughters of the Vote conference hosted by Equal Voice. The Daughters of the Vote delegates were all between the ages of 18 and 23, and they absolutely blazed a trail. They were ambitious, intelligent, and innovative. As part of the conference, 67 young ladies participated in an Indigenous forum to discuss specific issues of importance to Indigenous women across Canada and what future involvement could look like. We also held a similar event right here at Queen's Park this past April, and I was delighted to participate in the remarkable Assembly event, where one young woman was selected from each of the 107 ridings in Ontario to meet parliamentary figures and gain a behind-the-scenes perspective of Ontario's Parliament. Not only was this inspirational for the attendees, but the depth of conversation and how these young leaders envisioned their role in shaping a better province and country was truly inspirational. I believe that empowering young women is essential, and we need to mentor and celebrate all in tandem. And to close off my comments on Women's History Month, I would like to share a quote from Louise McKinney, which is found on the back page of the recent Canadian Parliamentary Review issue that celebrates 100 years of Commonwealth women parliamentarians. The purpose of a woman's job is just the same as the purpose of a man's, that she may make a possible contribution to the generation in which he is living. Louise was first elected to a legislature in Canada and in the entire British Empire. Today, those of us elected to the Ontario Legislative Assembly salute the women who have paved the road on which we journey, and I would like to encourage women of all ages to #claim your place. By becoming engaged, you can surely make a difference and inspire more women to get involved. Thank you.
Thank you.